Take a moment. Just pause for a second. There is something important to remember, and you already know it. This is not something new. It's something you are simply being reminded of. Everything already exists. Every version of your life, every outcome, every possibility you can imagine, and even those you cannot, already exist within a field of infinite potential. Nothing needs to be created from nothing. It is already there. What we call creation is actually selection. You are not creating your reality in the way you were taught. You are tuning into a version of reality that already exists through the state of being that you hold. And this is where most people become confused, because they look at the physical world and they use it as proof of what is happening. But what you see around you is not the present moment of creation. It is the reflection of what you have already been. It is your energetic history. What you are experiencing right now is the result of past states of being. That is why sometimes it feels frustrating, because you know you've changed, you feel it, you think differently, you respond differently, and yet the external world seems the same. But this is simply because we are experiencing reality through a time and space construct. This reality has density. Things take time here, not because they are slow, but because this is how this level of experience is structured. Energy moves first, then it organizes, then particles rearrange, then it becomes visible. So what you are seeing now is simply what has not yet caught up. And this is where your power is tested, because the key is not to react to what you see. The key is to remain in the state of being that you have chosen, not sometimes, not when it feels easy, but consistently, because the moment you return to the old reaction, the old thought, the old emotional pattern, you are no longer aligned with the version of reality you selected. You are tuning back into the old frequency, and then you wonder why nothing changes. But it is not that nothing changes, it is that you changed your alignment. So instead of looking at the outside world for confirmation, look at yourself. Look at how you respond. If you are able to react to the same situation in a different way, from a calmer place, from a more aware place, from the version of you that already has what you desire, then the shift has already happened, even if you cannot see it yet. That is the real evidence, not what is outside, but who you are being in the presence of it. Because the version of you that already lives that reality would not react the same way. They would not think the same thoughts. They would not hold the same fears. So when you embody that version, even in the same environment, you have already moved, and the physical world has no choice but to reorganize itself around that state. It must, because reality does not lead. It follows, it reflects, it mirrors. You are the cause, not the effect. So if you understand this, truly understand it, you will stop asking, "Where is it?" And you will begin asking, "Am I still being it?" Because that is the only thing that matters. Stay in the state, even when you don't see it yet, even when nothing seems to move, even when the old version of reality is still playing out, because what you are seeing is simply the echo of what you were, and what you are now is already shaping what is coming. You don't need to force it, you don't need to chase it, you only need to remain aligned with it. Everything already exists. You are simply choosing which version to experience, so choose consciously and stay there. Now I would like to share with you something very simple, but very powerful if you truly apply it. Not as something you try, but as something you allow yourself to become familiar with. Because visualization is not about forcing images in your mind. It is not about trying to see something perfectly. It is about stabilizing into a state of being. You can have a direction, you can have an intention, but it's not the exact image that changes your reality. It's the state you hold while you are connected to it. Most people get stuck because they try to control every detail. A specific person, a specific number, a specific outcome. And without realizing it, they create tension. They start asking, how will this happen? When will it happen? What if it doesn't look exactly like this? And this brings them back into doubt, back into the old frequency. So instead, use the image only as a direction. And then shift your attention to something more important. Who am I being in that reality? Close your eyes, take a slow breath, and ask yourself, if this was already done, if this was already part of my life, how would I feel right now? Not what would I see, not what would I have, but how would I feel in my body, in my nervous system, in my awareness? Would I feel calm, certain, open, supported? And then allow yourself to enter that state, even if just for a moment, because you are not imagining something that doesn't exist. You are tuning into a version of yourself that already exists. And this is where the shift happens. Because when your body becomes familiar with that state, when your nervous system stabilizes in it, it starts to feel natural. And what feels natural becomes your baseline. And from that baseline, you begin to think differently, choose differently, respond differently, and that is what changes your reality. So if you desire something, do not limit it to one exact form. If it is a relationship, don't attach only to one specific person. Feel what it is like to be seen, to be understood, to feel safe, connected, appreciated. Because that experience can come to you in ways your mind cannot predict, and often in ways that are even more aligned. The same with abundance. Do not fixate only on a number. Feel what it is like to live without pressure, to feel supported, to feel free in your choices, because that is the real state you are selecting. And once you stabilize in that, reality begins to reorganize. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because what you are seeing right now is still your energetic history. So don't look at the outside for confirmation. Look at yourself. If you can respond to the same reality from a different state, then you have already shifted. And now it is only a matter of alignment and consistency. So the practice is simple. Every day, return to that state, even for a few minutes, without forcing, without doubting, without going back. Stay with it, and allow reality to catch up with who you have become.